Well, the time has finally come, and that time is I'm finally going to do the 750 kit on the XS. I'm finally going to punch this bad boy up to 750. I'm using the xs650 kit. This is a top-end rebuild kit. I'm not going to deal with the taking off the side covers, like where the oil pump is, or not pump, like the right side, left side covers, like where the clutch is or where the magneto is. I'm not going to take those off because they don't need to be taken off. I'm just replacing the jug part right here. I am going to take the head off and do some work with that, but we'll get into that later. Let me show you the kit. So we got two of these pistons, two sets of these. There's your rings that I don't know are pre-gapped or not, but I'll show you how to gap them. Wrist pin, circlips, and the actual piston itself. Oops. This is really, this is all new stuff. It looks really good. And I've heard nothing but good stuff about Mike's kit. I thought for a second that, I might do the kit from Hughes, because Hughes is now offering a 700 kit. And I was thinking about doing that, but honestly I figure, if I'm going from 650, I might as well go to 750, because, other than up in the compression, which will obviously give you a lot of, give you a better feel of power, going from 650 to 700 doesn't really seem too drastic to me, so I figure I go full bore, pun included, and get myself a 750 kit. Now here's the piece de la resistance. It's the actual 750 jugs. I'm not going to paint these. I think I'm just going to keep it like this, like cast iron, so that it's not cast iron, but like, keep it looking the way that it looks, because I think it'll look good, and I think it'll actually clue some people into, like, hey, what's that? It's like, oh, you put the 750 jugs on there. Boop boop boop. Looks good. It's already like machined and everything. Basically, all I have to do is just put it in. Very easy. What else did I get in here? What's this? I think it's my new base gasket. Let me just check. Yep, it's my new gasket. Yeah, both the 750 gaskets. So I'll use those. People have noted that, hey, you could remove the base gasket on those to like give you more compression. But I've also heard people say that, when you do that with a kickstart setup, it kind of becomes pretty unruly and a little hard to kick over. So I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to keep the stock base gasket in there. But then, also I might do some research and I might just say, screw it, I'll delete it and give myself more compression. But for a street setup, not a race setup, I think I'll keep the base gasket in there for a little bit less compression. I'm not drag biking this thing. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, new kickstand. I'm gonna take off the old one and weld this guy on here, because as it sits, like the kickstand has been shortened, but still it's like, it basically sits straight up. I want it definitely leaning over to one side. Just makes it a little bit easier to deal with. So I'm going to weld this guy on there. And see if I'm missing anything else. There's the other piston. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the kit for you. And of course I got the the new gasket kit here that's going to, fill in all the loose ends there. And the one thing that I'm super happy about, I finally upgraded to, is this TIG welder. It's an Everlast. It's about $220 on Amazon. The other accessories I got being like the filler rods and the tungsten and a new set of gloves. That only ran me about, like, I don't know, $30-40 total. So I got a whole setup for, about $300, which is pretty good. I still need to get the bottle of argon And I know that's going to be somewhere around 200 to 300 bucks just by itself to actually get the bottle and get it filled. But I just haven't been around. All the welding shops are closed on the weekends, so I'm kind of shit out of luck until I figure out how to do that. But I might be out of work soon, so I might have all the time in the world, and that's a whole nother video. Oh god. So yeah, I guess at this point, yeah, because I want to start practicing TIG welding, because I've been trying to talk to people about getting a new exhaust done and actually having a shop do it for me, and nobody's gotten back to me. So I figured, what the hell, fuck it, I'll make another exhaust. This exhaust is nice, you know, it's definitely unique. Little X up front, isn't it cool? But you know, I don't like the header pipe on it. I don't, you know, because I wire fed flux cord this exhaust, and so you can guarantee that every single weld that's on there is ugly as sin. So that's why I hit it with exhaust wrap. And I don't want to do that with this next one, because I want to have it, like, you know, flow around and do all this interesting stuff. So I figure I need a TIG welder for that, and that's why I got it, for that reason, and then also to fix up the seat bracket, or not, yeah, the seat tube that I made over there. I want to actually TIG weld it in there. I don't want to just, like, you know, wire feed it in there, because, you know, it's very likely that it won't be strong enough. I mean, none of my welds have failed yet, but that's because I slugged everything. I could slug that, but I think I'll just TIG it, and I will give myself a lot of, like, that will be one of the last things I do, that and the Kickstarter. So there's a lot of time for me to practice once I get my bottle. You know, I'll probably give myself an hour or so of practice a night, just so that I feel competent with it. Maybe take a class or two. I don't know. I think I'll just, like, learn how to... I don't need to learn how to weld lap joints and shit. I just need to know how to do tubing, because that's all I'll ever do. But yeah, let's disassemble that engine. Exhaust goes first. These are 17s. And the exhaust nuts I have on here are not stainless steel. Like, a lot of this hardware is stainless steel, but these are not, because I don't know. I didn't get stainless steel. So there you go. When I do a lot of this stuff, when I do redo and, like, basically put all this stuff back together, a lot of this stuff I am going to either get stainless steel hardware, or actually take the hardware to a plater and get it, like, zinc plated or nickel plated. Because little did I know that, and I should have known this, Daly City, basically anywhere around the coast of California, the north coast, it's just going to eat away anything that isn't plated or coated. St. Arizona. I should have known better. That's why I'm going through this stuff again. And of course everything gets ziplocked. There's this guy. And we'll do the other one. Now, I'm not quite sure when I make my new exhaust whether or not I'm going to build it off of an existing exhaust, or basically build it from scratch. So I don't know if I'm going to save these flanges or not, but for now, these guys are just going in the corner. Okay, now we can do the head bolts. And I definitely made sure that when I first took these off, or when I put them on, one of the things that I made sure to do was to douse them with plenty of anti-seize so that I could actually get these guys off again. I'm going to try and do my best attempt at a crisscross pattern. Being that this is disassembly and not assembly, I kind of don't think it matters all that much. Might have to get a wobble extension on you. Or not. Cool. But yeah, the idea here is I would like to be able to take this off without taking the engine out of the frame. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but that's the idea. Yeah. Might not be able to do that, but at least if I do have to take it out, at least I'm loosening up all the crap right now. So as it turns out, I actually do have to take the engine out. I got lunch and came back and then thought about it and went, oh shit, I do have to take it out because I lack the clearance to lift the head out with the engine still in the frame, so I gotta take the engine out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove the jockey shift, the foot clutch linkage here. Take off this side because it's where all my electronics are tucked up in here, so I want to make sure that when I do lift the engine out that I'm not going to rip out any electrical connections. It's basically all just like kind of in there, so I need to have this off so I can look at it and hope that I don't screw up this gasket, because then I gotta make another one and I don't have that one because I didn't get a full gasket set. So whatevs, let's get this bottom one off. So this took a lot of time to get right, this this linkage setup. Just had to play around with it quite a bit in order to, you know, figure out the length of that rod there. But once I got it, it was fine. And every single nut on this linkage is a metal lock nut. Just for safety's sake. Like I definitely did not want to be taking any chances with this thing coming off at any point. So the metal lock nuts, they don't ever come off, ever, 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 ever. Alright, I guess I did weld on a... Oh, huh. Yeah, I guess I did modify this, weld it on this bracket here, so that it could fit my purposes. Okay, I'll just leave that together. Let's get this guy off the spider gear. I think it's a 12. No. Is it a 13? Is it 15? What was a 13 at? Oh, there it is. Found you. Yep. Close enough. It's probably some weird, like, what do you call it? Standard size, but 13 does the job. Here we go. Put this guy back in here. And I'll show you guys like kind of how this went, but yeah, it was actually pretty easy to do. Just making this little bracket here. And then I'll show you the modifications I made to the worm gear in there to allow it to be a foot shift setup. But yeah, I did have to make this little bracket here, weld it on there. Next, let's get the actual shifter out of the way. It's not a 12, is it a 10? It's a 10. There we go. No, not yet. I think it might be one of these ones that it has to be all the way out in order for it to get out. Come on, buddy. And we're going. Cool. There we go. This bolt back in here for safety's sake. Cool. Alright, that's pretty good, so we'll take this cover off and that. Get my Allen keys out first. Let me put this away. Actually, there is nothing to put away. And yeah, everything's still together. So I'm just going to put that away. I don't have to actually bag anything. But I will bag all these guys. So let's see. Yep, that's that. The one thing I'm missing. It's the one I'm missing. Actually, I'm not missing it. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Now you can see kind of my shitty timing marks I made in there, and I will probably have to retime this. Matter of fact, I'm pretty positive I'm gonna have to. Let's move these guys. Let's hope that these guys don't strip. Oops, put the wrong one away. How silly. There we go. I think when these bolts at first came on the XS, they were like screws, or not screws, what the hell am I saying? You needed a common head screwdriver in order to get them off. Switching over to Allen heads is like the best way to go, because you're not dealing with, like, there's very little chance of this stuff stripping, you know what I mean? Like, you can strip a common head bolt all day long, but it's really hard to strip these Allen heads. So I really like them for that reason. Because I believe even when I was assembling this motor, I had probably three, I don't know which side, but definitely like three of these bolts strip when I was trying to take the engine out for the first, or when I was trying to disassemble the engine for the first time. So extracting bolts is never fun. It's always painstaking, and you're always hoping that you know, that it goes good. But it's always a pain in the ass. Alright. And the last one to be undone is the on-off switch here. Push that down there. And now this should come right up.
just want to make sure that it all comes out in one piece as much as I can, and it didn't. It already snapped right there. Ugh, I might have to get a new one of these. Luckily, these things are... Yeah, now I definitely have to get one. Yeah. Okay. So that's one more gasket to add to the eBay list. Just put that guy back where he belongs. And I haven't looked at my wiring down here in like friggin' a million years, man. Crazy. Still looks pretty good. I did a good job. Magneto. Oh yeah, the worm gear. See if I can show it to you. So, worm gear, if you can see what I did there, is there's the worm gear right there. And then this is just a little hex thing I got from, what do you call it? Aces. And I just put it, I just welded it on there. And that's it. Nice and easy. There's your worm gear, guys. No problemo. And this guy, holy shit, this fucking bike, man. I tell you. This is the most vibraty fucking bike in the world. These guys are already starting to come off. These guys, see it loose? This is the most vibraty bike ever. I'm gonna have to Loctite those before I put them back on. God damn this bike, I swear. It's so vibraty. Okay, I'll put you away for now. You served me well. You will serve me well again. Alright, let's look at undoing some of the... Well, let's try and figure out which electronics need to be undone here. Alright, we'll bring you in. So... let's see any of this stuff. Most likely you can't. There's my hand. Hi. Yeah, so there's your there's my capacitor right there. There's a little there's a little connector here that goes from the stator, and I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug that. And so now this is, now I had these little these little washer type things like hold the all this stuff in place. So I guess I'll take those off. I think it's the back of the starter, or it used to be the starter. Let me see what else should be removed. Cut this off. And you can't see anything. Good enough. See what absolutely has to be removed and what I can just kind of unhook. I mean, I might have to have the bike on its side before I figure that out. Tip the bike over on its side so I could take out the regulator rectifier here. This like really shitty mounting plane I made, but god damn it, it works. It's mounted to the point where the starter used to be. And just kind of holds in place underneath the engine, and it works just fine. It does a good job of doing whatever the hell it is that it does. It regulates really well. Alright, so at this point, what do I do? At this point, I'll tip the bike back over. I need to take this chain off. That's the next thing I have to do. It's like so fucking tight though. I might loosen up the rear wheel a little bit and just like, let it chill a little bit, because it's like the way it is right now, there's not a whole lot of play on it, so it's going to be really hard to remove the master link and or the clip and push the master link out of the way with it this tight. So yeah, I guess I'll do that next. Yeah. All right, master link is off. So's the chain. Let's put you over here for safekeeping. Nice. Yeah, let's get you more out of the way. I think it's about time to get this engine out of here. One of the last connections I need to undo is this wire, this gray wire going up to the PAMCO system. I'll show you how to do that. Alright, let's get that PAMCO out of there. Or at least this wire. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with the PAMCO and why I need to do a little bit of modification to it, because it's causing a little bit of noise. I'll show you what I mean. There we go. It's a very satisfying sound. Yeah, so this has to come out. And so I'm getting a pretty large rattle, not so much a knock, but definitely a rattle coming specifically from the PAMCO. And if you can hear it, there it is right there. It's just that little bit of movement. Not so much that, but that right there. That little bit of movement causes me all sorts of problems. It just makes an ass ton of noise, and I really don't like it. Now, I talked to PAMCO Pete, and PAMCO Pete actually said, like, oh yeah, dude, I'll send you over a washer to put in there to, you know, basically take up the slack. But the one that he sent me was had to be slightly too big, because basically what it did is it made this too tight so that the advancing unit on the other side of this, on the right hand side of the engine, wouldn't open up. So, you know, it wouldn't advance, which is a problem. So I need to figure out, I basically need to make a spacer for this that's going to allow the advancer to advance, and also for it not to knock around and make this horrible noise that I hate so much. God damn it, I can't stand it. The engine's about ready to come out. I'm just going to loosen up the rest of these head bolts. That's tighten, I think. Make sure I'm not gonna strip a head bolt. Let me just make sure. How do I make sure? Let's practice on this thing. Okay, it's definitely loosen. Don't want to be stripping head bolts now, do you? The answer is no, you do not. This guy's on there. Ugh. I'm doing all these just so that when the engine is out and I'm removing the head, basically, like, I'm not gonna ever be out of torque, essentially. Like, because the engine is still in there. Ow, damn it. Oh, it hurt. Hit my elbow on something. Because the engine is still in here, you know, if I tried to do this with the engine just kind of like on the ground, basically, oh Jesus, it would keep rotating on me, and I wouldn't be able to really get any good purchase on it. So other than those, I already did the oil channel up here. That's loosened up now. The only other thing to loosen up is the spark plugs, and take those out. Because those will have to go. Or will they? No, they won't. They won't have to go, because I'm only replacing this down here. So never mind. Spark plugs do not need to be removed. Next up is taking out the coil. And I'm actually pretty proud of myself for figuring out how to mount this on the, you know, on the front engine mount here. I think it looks awesome, and it's kind of out of the way,
and hidden. I like it. This is the main reason why I did want to do a rephase, because I really like how this is together. You know, I like how I like how I did this, you know? And I don't know how I would do a second one. I would probably have to mount it back up on top where they normally go. But I don't want to do that because I like the way I did this. And I see how everything came through the frame. So it was pretty easy for me to, you know, route the wires into here. And away we go. I'm going to take out the rear motor mount, and then only the front one remains. Now this used to be nice and shiny, but it was raw steel, so, you know, what happens to raw steel when it's exposed to the air for a while? It rusts. So this guy, I am definitely going to be zinc plating or nickel plating, just because, like, I mean, it's a major part of the you know, kind of the landscape of the bike, so to speak. You know, like it's very prominent, like you could see it. So yeah, the last thing I want to be doing is having that look like shit. So what comes in this is, here's the main ground for the wiring circuit. If I could just get that off of here, it would be great. I guess I gotta screw it off like this. Whatevs, it works. Don't judge me. Alright, let's get that front mount out of here. Alright, chances are that this is most likely going to run out of battery by the time I'm recording it. So I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Let's get the engine out. Ugh. Ooh, you heavy. I forgot how heavy you are. Almost there. We're almost there. Ah, there we go. I did it, Mom. All by myself. Alright, so the head is about to come off. The last thing that we have to do here is, let's see if we can do this. Deal with getting the advance mechanism out. Let's see if I can somehow jury rig a lighting setup. Holy shit, that actually works. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, so this advance mechanism needs to come out because this part of the head is actually in two pieces. There's a piece here, and then it separates about here. And these little plates, there's two screws there and one screw there. With this still on, the head will not come off. So the other side came off very easily because there's not a whole lot there. It's just the Pamco mechanism. Just getting that off was not too hard. But, you know, this one can be pretty hard because we're dealing with this little circlip here that I try my best to not lose. Okay, there you are. Quickly get you in a sandwich bag. Oops. Reset. Uno momento. Okay. Okay. We'll get the other one. Ooh.
Easy. Whew. Yeah, you lose those, you're in deep shit, man. These little advanced mechanisms, this whole little bit here, it's kind of pricey, so you don't want to lose it. So now we'll slide off the arms and disconnect them. There we go. Okay. Put these guys away for safekeeping. Now we deal with the lock here, which shouldn't be that difficult. I said maybe it's because I'm using a rubber mallet. Fuck it, I'm gonna keep trying. There we go. And the base plate should come right off. Ta freaking da. There's your advanced unit gone. Now I can remove these screws and get the head off. Oops. Don't want to lose these little weird spiral spiral washer things. Don't know what they're called. It's probably a good reason they're used, so I'm gonna make sure that they keep being used. You know what? Screw this. Okay. Alrighty. Just cinch this up, because I don't want those little guys running around getting lost. And I was already wailing on this a little bit with my rubber mallet, so it should be pretty easy to get off. Actually, I have no idea what these things do. Those little guys. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Not really. Let's zoom you back out. Yeah. Oh God. There we go. High tech. So let me give it a few little whaps here and see what happens. God damn it, you kidding me? You. Hello. Alright. Done. Let's give it a whap. Oop. There we go. Alright. Almost. Oops. And we are good. Awesome. And there's your head. I'll inspect these rocker arms, make sure that they don't need to be replaced. These two look a little worn, those two look kind of okay. But I will look at you at a later date. Hello, engine. I haven't been inside here for like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years. It's been a little while, so things shouldn't be terrible. You know what I mean? Like, things should be okay. Nothing really bad happened in that time. But next thing I have to do is remove the, what is this? There's just things chipping off. The next thing I have to do here is to remove the camshaft and remove the chain here. Now I think I have to check and see whether or not this is an endless chain or if there's actually a U clip in there, or yeah, a master link in this chain. I don't know. I think some years came with them, some years didn't. I just gotta rotate this dude around a little bit and excuse me. See if I can find one, because I don't see one at the moment. And riveting these guys out is a bit of a pain in the ass, so I'm not super duper looking forward to it. But I guess I can just use the Kickstarter to move it. Wait, hang on. Hang on. Alright, this is the biggest pain in the ass part of this whole process, is removing this chain. Luckily I have a chain breaker tool for it, so it shouldn't be that terrible, but it's still a pain in the ass. So I got some baling wire here, and I put it through both sides of the chain and like wrapped it around one of the engine studs here, so when the chain breaks and flops down, it's not going to fall into the engine case, it'll be held right there. So let's go ahead and break this. Now what I want to do when I break this is I want to make absolutely sure that that when I push it through, I don't push the pin all the way through, because if I do that, then I have to press the pin back in, and that is very, very difficult. Whereas if it's already kind of in there, it's much easier for me to come on, buddy. Let's try to find the center here. Oh, that's close enough. Where is it? Maybe I need to get another. That's fine. Actually, I'm just going to use my 14 here. Oh, there it goes. I think I might need to get a bigger, what do you call it? This size. Hang on. Alright, let's try. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Let's try this again. Unpopular. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Come on. Alright, good. Alright, let's try this again with a different pin size. Yeah, it's better. There it goes. Alright, now let's check. See where we're at. because like I said, I don't want to push the pin all the way through. I just want to have it out, but still in the last bit of the link. I'll show you what I mean when I do it, but it makes reassembly infinitely easier. Okay. Because yeah, pressing this thing back in is just like fucking such an enormous pain. So it looks like it just needs a little bit more convincing, and then it's there. Yes, this is very tedious, but this sort of finagling will save me so much time. Okay, let's give it a few more turns. Not yet. Okay. I think I might have a winner. Oh yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's make sure that you see what I'm talking about here. See how it's still kind of left in there? That will make putting this engine back together so much easier. I shit you not. I have done this many times on many different bikes, and this is definitely the easiest way to go, getting this done. So now, cam chain's off. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do next? Might have to check the manual, because this should just pop right off. But it's not. Yay, I'm screwing up my timing. Look at me go. I'm gonna check the manual. Forget what I do next. Little upward pressure from the rubber mallet and the cam came right out. Now for my next trick, I have to take off the spark plugs to gain access to a little bolt underneath it that holds this part of the head on. Head on, applied directly to forehead. Head on. Cool. These spark plugs are still good and they're iridiums, so I'm gonna keep them around. Yes, I paid extra for the Rolls-Royce spark plugs. And getting this off, whoops, there we go. Getting this off with the, without dropping the chain is a little tricky, but it's doable if you have some baling wire, which I do. So it won't be that bad. Trust me. I think these are 12s. This is what, a 13? Yeah. What is this, a German car? 13? Get out of here. Alright, that'll work. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. Okay, see, this is why I wanted to
This is why I should have done this shit when it was on the car. Or in the frame. Because this shit... Oh, there we go. There's one. Well, you were saying, why didn't you get the engine stand? Well, because I don't need it. I'm sure it's a very nice investment. But I don't need it. Is this a 10? I bet it's a 10. Just to mess with me. There we go. And these two guys down here that I think are 10 mil. They look 10 mil. By God, they are 10 mil. Yep. The one thing that I do want to check out, for sure, is the cam chain guide. Those guys are known to wear out over time, and the last time I was in the engine I did not replace it, so I don't know the condition it's in. So it's probably good for me to to inspect, and like that's the only thing that's gonna like possibly hold this up is inspecting that thing. But I'm gonna undo these bolts, and then when I take it off I'll film again. Alright, let's take off the rest of the head. Good little smack with this. Oh, it's loose. Sweet. So I put on some longer baling wires. You'll see why in a second. Let's see if these guys just want to come off. Ooh, yes, they do. Sweet. It's almost good to have two hands, or like 3 or 4 hands when you do this, but let's see if I can somehow do this with only 2. Let's see. Pull it through here maybe. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Alright. This one's clear. It's not going anywhere. And the same for this one. Come on, buddy. Oops. The one with the friggin' what you call it on it? Come on. It's getting stuck in the channel. There we go, I got it. And this way. And now the head comes right off. Awesome. Ooh, charred. Burnt to a crisp. Cool. We'll take a look at that later. Ugh, you're coming back on. This is getting replaced. Old gasket we no longer need. And my 2 chains. 2 chains. And my guide. Let's see if this just wants to come out. No, probably not, huh? Do you want to come out? Maybe a little convincing. Ugh.
Come on, buddy. You want to go, don't you? Come on, Juggies. If it moves a little, it'll move a lot. Push the distance down a little bit, maybe. Come on. Don't you want to go home? Oh, is it because of this thing? Is it because of you? Maybe. Little bolt in the front here, or a little nut that oiled the oil return tube on there. It's very possible that it needs to go off, but I don't know. Whoa, losing it. I don't know why that would be. Let me take another look at this here. I think it is because of that. You can tell I've never been this far into the engine. It might be because of this guy. Definitely feels like it's hitting up on something. It might be this. Let me see if I can get a wrench on there. I think it's a little bit more than a 17, but let's see. That's what I have on hand. Yeah, it's definitely more than a 17. Let's take a look at something. It is hitting up on that. Okay. Let me find a way to get that off. In case anyone was wondering, that was a 22. And that definitely was one that I should not have waited on until the last minute to remove. That was a pain in the ass, but now the jugs won't come out. Alright, so it's time to remove the pistons, and I have a pretty caveman way of doing this because I don't have the circlip removal tools that are probably necessary in order to do this correctly. But, you know, like all my videos, I kind of just make do with what I got. What I got is a little pin from the chain rivet removal tool, and I'm just gonna push the elbow back out there and just use these little indents that are there to pry up on the on the pin slightly. Tiny screwdriver, and just get it out of the channel like that. And we're just gonna work our way around, and if I'm lucky, it'll pop off right on the screwdriver itself and not go across the floor. Well, it did pop off, but it landed on the other side of the engine. There you go. And that's why you put the towels down in there, just in case. So now we'll push this dude out and see if it'll go by hand. Of course it won't, so we're going to give it a little bit of gentle persuasion with a screwdriver. And yes, there is a better way to do this, but I don't know of one, so just a few quick little tippity taps should be enough to get this thing out of here. And there you go. Alright, that's it. Alright, so here's the guides. This one came off in 2 pieces, so obviously it needs to be replaced. This is the one that is in this part of the engine, in the front of the engine, that's held on by 2 screws. Because it fell apart in my hands, it is going to be replaced. Now this one, I don't know. This one is the one that the tensioner pushes up against to actually give tension. I don't know if this one needs to be replaced. I'm going to put it up on the forums to see, but there should be a bit of a groove in here, because if you see the top of that, see there's a little groove there. The bottom here, this part, it's pretty smooth. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, or if there actually should be like a channel in there, but right now this isn't, so I'm going to do my research, and it needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced, but because we're going to wait on that other cam chain guide, this is going to wait a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of a halt on this one for a little while, just until we get all the pieces that we need, and then we can put the 750 kit back on, which is basically the exact same way we removed it, except I need to gap the rings, because I'm pretty certain that the rings are not pre-gapped. So yeah, disassembled.